Hey babies, hey babies, Bean and Russell and Sheila and Mila and Butters. This is my old lady Butters. She's the matriarch of our little gang that we got going on here. Yes, yes. This is my favorite boy. He's my protector. This is my daughter's dog. Well, actually, my daughter's boyfriend's dog, Tyler. And then this is Bean, which is my daughter rescued him. He was very malnutritioned when we found him. All his bones were sticking out. I already told you about Sheila. Butters we rescued from the Animal Coalition in Tampa. They put her up for adoption, and we got her when she was 2 months old. And she turned 12 in February. So she's my old lady and I love her. She's been through so much. And then we got Mila, who we rescued during Hurricane Irma. Go figure. We had already, me and my husband's anniversary is September 10th. And he had planned a vacation away. Hey, no, no, no. No, sir. No. That you don't eat this. Goodness gracious. We had planned a honeymoon trip up to Tennessee, and it actually fell during Hurricane Irma, where they were evacuating everybody from here because it was supposed to be a dead hit. I knew it wasn't going to be because I've lived here my whole life and we never have a direct hit. But me and my daughter had gone to Walmart up there because what ended up happening was it wasn't just a trip for me and my daughter or me and my husband. It was a trip for me, my daughter, my husband, his brother, my sister and her husband, all my nieces and nephews, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and there was like 5 guys from work they worked with, and it was like 22 people, all evacuated to Tennessee. Well, we ended up renting this one house, and we were all, there were people laying everywhere. It was so cramped. It was such a small house because it was just going to be me and my husband. So we ended up renting this mansion. Oh my God. It was beautiful. And when I say beautiful, I mean it was beautiful. Everybody had their own space. All the adults pretty much had their own room. The teenagers were kind of pissed because we weren't letting them stay in our closet. Our closet that was in the master bedroom, that was in this upstairs area, was as big as my back porch. And let me tell you, literally my bedroom up there was this big up to the thing. I mean, it was huge. And anyway, so during Hurricane Irma, while we were up there, the hurricane had turned and started to go that way. So my mother-in-law gets really freaked out. And so me and my daughter go to Walmart to get some stuff that we needed. And they had a truck full of puppies. And my daughter was like, Mommy, please, I'll take it. And I was like, no, we're not getting another animal. No. And this was before she met her boyfriend. So we didn't have Russell or Bean. And Mila was the sickest puppy that was in the truck. She was small. She was sickly looking. She needed help. So I ended up taking her. I didn't want my husband to get mad because we already had a couple dogs. And so we told him we found him in a box, which we found it in the truck, found it in a box. What's the difference? Anyway, my father-in-law ended up seeing the truck when he went to Walmart and was like, I know what you did, and ratted us out. But my husband doesn't really care. He doesn't really want dogs. He wants to get his kind of dog. But he's the one that picked out Butters. So, but yeah, that's how we got Mila. All the dogs are rescues in one way or another, except for Russell, which her boyfriend had bought. He's purebred, and he had mated him with another dog once or twice, and he has all these puppies that are huge and beautiful. Oh my God. But I don't believe in that because I rescue dogs, and I rescue all kinds of animals. It's not just dogs. And I've rescued plenty of squirrels, plenty of raccoons, plenty of possums that played dead and stuff like that. I rescued a bat a couple weeks ago that was like sick and hanging on my porch on the outside. But I rescue animals. That's the bottom line. So my husband's like, he knows I'll, heal them and then send them out on their way. But that's our family. And when my daughter and her boyfriend get home, or when we're doing stuff, I will introduce you to them. My daughter is 21, and she'll be 22 in September. After we lost our son and her brother, things were kind of hard. Just this year, which was the third year, he died January 20th, 2017. And we don't know why. He wrote his girlfriend a note that said, I'm going to put a bullet in my brain in the most literal sense. It's not your fault, and it's not my family's fault. I love you. And it took her about 20 minutes calling the school to get my phone number to let me know what he had texted her. And because she didn't drive, and her mother wasn't home. And so she finally got a hold of me, and I literally did 90 miles an hour down 301, running red lights, driving on, merge it, the mid thing on the grass, going around people. It was bad. Surprised I didn't get in an accident trying to get to him, but my husband found him before I got home. And I had pulled into the driveway, which was at the same time as the first cop responding. 911 was coming, and he called me over, and I ran over there. And I thought that he had found him before he shot himself, and I see my husband laying over him with a shirt wrapped around his head and blood all around. And I just collapsed. I couldn't even make it to him. And then when the EMS came, they airlifted him to Tampa General Hospital, and he was pronounced dead at 6:03. And I was almost to the hospital because I know it sounds weird, and I don't know if y'all will believe me. But, okay, first let me set it up. This was a crime scene. The whole house was a crime scene because they had to and across the street, because that's where he did it. And they had to make sure that he shot himself and that nobody else shot him. And I wasn't going to leave my husband while the cops were here doing an investigation. And I kept telling everybody, no, I'm not going. I went to nursing school. I knew he was going to be in surgery for a long time and would be just waiting in the waiting room, and I didn't want to do that. And then I was sitting on the tailgate of my in-laws' truck, and I had a bag packed for when he got out of surgery because I wouldn't leave the hospital until he came home with me. And I was literally 2 minutes away from the hospital, about to take a left-hand turn to go in there, and my husband called me and said, turn around. And I said, tell me why. And he said, just turn around. I said, tell me why. And he said he didn't make it. But I had refused to leave. And while I was sitting on the back of my in-laws' truck, I felt him leave me. It was a physical force that went through my chest and just out. And I can't explain it, but at that moment, I knew he died. And it was around the same time. And that's when I decided. I told my best friend, we gotta go now. We have to go now. And we were still there for a couple hours before they would let us see him. And see, I'm going to tell y'all something, because I want y'all to get to know us. Me and my husband, we've been together for we got married in 1993. 27 years this year. And see, I had a premonition before I ever had my kids. I had a dream that I was flying on the saucer, and there was a little girl that was about 2 to 3 on my right, and a little boy that was just a little bit younger than her on my left. And we're flying through the space. It wasn't Earth, it was like space. And the boy fell. And I grabbed onto him, and I was holding his hand. And I knew if I let go of his hand, he would die. And I was after I forgot about the dream, but it kept coming up a little bit. It really felt real. And so when he was little and he would get hurt, he got really hurt a couple of times. And I was so afraid, I'd go afraid. Like one time he busted his head open on a wall, the flat surface of a wall. When he was playing football, he had to be, sent off the field in an ambulance because he hurt his knee so bad and had to be in a cast. So I was just nervous. And I remember there was things that led up to it. I bought a book because I listened to a podcast about teenagers committing suicide, and that they regretted it after. Some psychic that was talking about it, and it was just interesting. I wanted to read it, and I had that on my calendar for a month before this happened, and I was more worried about my daughter than my son. My son never gave any clue, nothing. He was funny, he was smart, he was hardworking, he was a genius in school, like literally genius level. Played video games all the time, had a good social life, had a girlfriend. They didn't break up. His sister had just got married a month before that. That's a whole different story. But anyway, but I knew that if I wasn't holding his hand, he would die. And 2 weeks before, no, maybe only a week before, I was cleaning my house and I looked at a picture that was on my dresser and I thought, because he was 17, he was a man. I mean, he was a man, and I was so proud of him. And we had gotten into an argument earlier that day about his grades, because that was the day that the report cards came out. It was also President Trump's inauguration day. And he loved Trump. He was always talking about Trump. And when I saw him at the hospital, no, they wouldn't let me get near him when they were here working on him. I begged the cops. I begged them, please let me just tell him I love him before his heart stops beating. They wouldn't let me. And they airlifted him away, and he never got to hear that. The last thing we talked to was an argument. He didn't answer the phone any of the times I called him. So when we finally got to see him, after he passed away, I wanted to hold his hand. And I couldn't, because there was paper bags over them to make sure that he shot himself. Stupid. So maybe that dream was a premonition. And maybe the little tiny things like buying that book and listening to this podcast about teen suicides was preparing me, I had never touched a dead body, but a month before, a really good lady who had taken me in after I got kicked out of my house when I was 16 years old, who took me, she had passed away, and I went to her funeral and I touched her and I felt how cold she was. And I feel like that was, whoever you call it, I call it God, was preparing me so it wouldn't be so horrible. But it was horrible. And I was really lost for 3 years. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I still get into the depression of losing him. He was my baby boy. I had my daughter when I was 21, and 14 months later, I had my son when I was 22. And me and my husband had been married for 5 years when we had our daughter, and 6 years when we had our son, because I got married when I was 16 to him, and he was 20, and he was in the Army. So I'm not telling y'all this story for sympathy or anything. I just want you guys to get to know us. I want to be part of a family. I want to be a travel family. I want to hear your ideas. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What kind of RV do you want to buy? What are your suggestions? What like pitfalls is in for buying an RV? Like, what's stuff that breaks down easy? What's things that go wrong? That's what I want to hear, because I do not want to have to, get into some situation where it's hard to get out of, or a horrible place to go to, or of the wrong kind of RV. So let me know your suggestions. Like I said, we're going to do about a 22 to 24 foot I think more of a 22, but I like the 24 for the little extra space. It's amazing how much more, you know, space for clothes and stuff like that and food that it offers. But yeah, let us know. I want to become, like I said, a family. I want us to get to know each other. I want to see your comments. I want to hear your suggestions, and so does my husband. And we just want to take you on this experience with us so that maybe if you're thinking about buying an RV, you see what we had gone through to go do it. And I promise I'll fix my hair and I'll put on makeup and I'll look a lot better in the next ones. But yeah, let us know. Let us know your names. Let us know your ideas, and we will comment as much as we can to you. We want feedback. So I'm hoping to get to know you guys, and I really hope that, you know, we can become an RV family together. Maybe if you're out in the same place as we are and you're already RVing, let's meet up. Let's have a barbecue. You know, we're all for it. Love meeting new people. So does my husband. He will talk your head off. I know I'm talking a lot, but I had a back surgery today, and I'm still kind of boo from the stuff that they gave me. Sorry. Alright, guys. This is our first vlog, and I hope you enjoy us. I mean, I'm gonna let you know we're weird. We argue a lot. My daughter thinks she's my mother ever since my son died. My mother lives with me, but she's at my aunt's house right now. And so we got 5 adults and 6 dogs and 2 cats living here. I think that's part of the reason why I want to get away too, just to me and him, you know. But yeah, I can't wait to meet you guys. I am so excited about this experience, and I really hope that you come along with us. It's going to be awesome. And share the video with people you know who already RV. You know, tell them to give us suggestions about, you know, the stuff the pitfalls, where to park, where to go, best places you go, like the little secret places you guys know about. And then I'm going to be showing you the little secret places around here, and I'll let you know exactly where it's at so that you can, you know, if you're in the area, you can visit, and it's really nice. All right, guys, you have a good one.